Welcome to Texas. Yeehaw!
Welcome back to our Route 66 journey. After leaving El Rancho in New Mexico, we crossed the border into Texas, greeted by miles and miles of towering wind farms.
Texas might only have 178 miles of Route 66, but every mile is packed with history, quirky stops, and open skies.
First up was Midpoint in Adrian, the official halfway point between Chicago and Santa Monica. The famous Midpoint Cafe was closed, of course, right? But we still had to grab a picture with the iconic sign that marks this perfectly middle spot. It's exactly 1,139 miles to both cities.
After that, we swung by the restored Magnolia Station, one of the earliest gas stations on Route 66, built in the 1920s. It's been lovingly restored to its former glory. Even though it's not operational anymore, it's a piece of living history that reminds us of the heyday of the Mother Road.
By lunchtime we were starving, so we stopped at the Hickory Inn Cafe for a hearty Texas meal. The friendly server suggested we might want to share a lunch. She was right. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Next, we hit up Cadillac Ranch, one of the most iconic Route 66 attractions. 10 classic Cadillacs are half buried, nose down in the ground, and you're encouraged to bring your own spray paint to leave your mark on this living piece of art. It's been around since 1974, and people from all over the world have left their graffiti here.
Right next to it was the Second Amendment Cowboy Statue at the gift shop. We took some fun photos with this giant cowboy before heading off to our next stop.
We spent the night at the legendary Big Texan Motel in Amarillo, home of the famous Big Texan Steak Ranch. The motel itself is decked out in old western decor, and out front there's a big Tex Rex, a giant dinosaur wearing a cowboy hat. Gotta love that Texan style.
We didn't go for the 72-ounce steak challenge, but let me tell you, the steaks we ordered were still huge and absolutely delicious. Fun fact, if you do take on the challenge and eat the entire steak plus the sides within an hour, it's free. Only a few have ever managed to finish it.
The next morning, we couldn't leave without checking out the Leaning Tower of Britten. It's a water tower that's intentionally left leaning as a fun roadside attraction. Another weird and wonderful stop along the way.
Driving past more wind farms, then a stop in Allen Reed at the 66 Super Service Station, another beautiful restoration of an old gas station. These service stations were once essential pit stops for Route 66 travellers back in the 1930s.
We had plans to stop at the McLean Museum, but as you guessed it, it was closed. Luckily, we got to see the old Phillips 66 gas station in McLean. It's one of the oldest in the state and a great example of the early days of automobile travel.
Our final Texas stop was the stunning Conoco Tower in Shamrock. Built in 1936, this Art Deco masterpiece once served as a gas station and cafe. It's also rumoured to have inspired the design for Ramon's body shop in the movie Cars. Pretty cool, right?
That wraps up our time in Texas. A short but memorable stretch along Route 66. Next, we're heading into Oklahoma. Stay tuned for our more adventures.
Be sure to follow along with the rest of our Route 66 journey from Santa Monica to Chicago. Until next time!